Alright, so I'm going to show you how to change the steering column bearing. The part number 905-512 Dorman. It's mainly what mostly any body part replacement part if you get it from like O'Reilly's. That's mainly the brand it'll be, but it's what it looks like. It goes on the bottom of your steering column. You have to unbolt your steering coupler or intermediate shaft to get to it. Pretty much the way you'll know if you need one is you'll hear, like when you go over a bump, you'll have like you'll hear like a clunk sound, and then you'll kind of be like driving, and then you'll kind of feel it on the actual like steering column. You'll feel like something's clunking in here, and it's real annoying and frustrating. But that's the part right there. Let me show you something also. Let's say it could also, if you hear that clunking sound, it could also be the intermediate shaft which is this one here. But a simple fix or a way to tell if it is the intermediate shaft, you could unbolt it here and just make sure. What I usually do is just put like a bungee strap on the steering wheel to like my shifter or like my brake pedal, so pretty much it won't let my steering wheel move. And I'll unbolt it here, and I'll make sure this doesn't spin, and I'll pretty much just push this out, and I'll kind of just slide it back and forth, and like pretty much just slide this part back and forth, and it'll kind of like respread the grease inside here, and it'll sometimes that'll make your clunking sound go away. But I mean, you can see mine. I don't know if you can, but you can hear it thumping, and that's that plastic bearing. At first I thought it was this, and I put a new one, and the part's only like, I think there's only like 50 bucks. It's not really a big deal, but I'm not sure if you can hear the clunking, but there it is. And you can definitely hear it's coming from like up there. But one thing to do is just unbolt it, slide it back and forth, and put it back. And then if that doesn't fix it, then it's most likely going to be that bearing inside. And let me show you how to swap. So the first thing you want to do is get down here where like your brake pedal and your gas pedal are, and if you have the drive-by-wire or the electric gas pedal, you'll have to unbolt the assembly to leave you enough room to work. And because the part, it's like right, you kind of see it, the part we're going to change is right there. And if you have the gas pedal, it's going to be here in the way, so you unbolt it. It'll be 3 10mm bolts, one will be right here, kind of under the carpet. The next one will be here, and the third one, I over-tightened mine last time when I was changing that intermediate shaft, and it freaking broke the stud. But pretty much it'll have a nut here, a nut there, and then that nut. That one's kind of the pain to get to because it's like behind the gas pedal. Let me show you. See, it's this one in here. To get to it, you have to first, since mine's broken, I don't have to, but if yours isn't broken like that, first you have to actually unbolt the 2 10mm bolts, take the actual gas pedal away from the bracket, and it'll have the hole to get to it. Okay, so once you have the gas pedal out of the way, you're going to want to remove that bolt and nut right in the center of the screen there. The head of the bolt is 13mm, and the nut is a 15mm, so you can hold it so it doesn't spin. So just loosen that up, and before you take the bolt out, once you have it all the way loose and you take the nut off, before you pull the bolt out, make sure you secure the steering wheel first so it won't move, and then you'll end up breaking your clock spring or something. Alright, so that's what I mean. You pretty much take the nut off, and before you pull the bolt out, make sure you bungee strap the steering wheel. Alright, so I couldn't find the bungee strap, so what I did is I straightened up the backrest of my seat here. I put the seat straighter up so my belt buckle or my seat belt can reach around the steering wheel and clip, and then I just kind of pushed it back so it would have tension. So I mean, if you can't find the bungee strap, just do that, and that'll hold it, you know, so it doesn't move. Alright, so once you have that bolt, just collapse that down. It's like a slip joint sort of, and the tranny, the other side, it slides in, so you just slide it in, and it'll be nice and out of your way. And that, pretty sure it doesn't have any bolts, but it just has these little clips on the side that you just collapse in and it'll slide out. So this is the old one, that's the new one. So to take it out, when it's in there like this, you just pretty much you're not gonna have access to these little clips here or nothing. So what I did is I just put my hand around the actual steering column shaft and I just pushed it out. It takes quite a bit of pressure and it'll pop out, and then you just slide it out the rest of the way. Alright, so I'm not sure if this will actually help, but I figured it wouldn't hurt, so I put some grease there to maybe help slide it in. And this here, when you look at the bottom of the steering column, it'll have like a little cutout, and that's where this slide in, which is kind of like the guide, so you know which way it goes. But mainly this side kind of faces towards like your floorboard, so it goes like the spot with the cutout goes down. But let me show you. You can see that little cutout there, and then you see the guide. That's the one right there, so that's gonna end up there in that slot, so it's aligned correctly. That intermediate shaft, you'll just bend that little U-joint up so it's nice and a lot more room. So when you're sliding the new one in, it's kind of a pain. Just pretty much make sure it's kind of aligned straight with that shaft coming out at the bottom, otherwise it's not going to want to go in. So if you have pressure on it and just kind of wiggle it around, it'll kind of find itself and it'll just slide in real easy, and then you just slide it in all the way. So there's the new one installed. You can see the little tabs there in that spot I was telling you about. It's pretty much aligned good, and then once you have that in, you can slide your shaft in. This still has, it moves a little bit, that's because it's still not tight, but the actual shaft, this one, before I did this, I was able to grab this and wiggle it up and down. Now it has absolutely no play, so that's the fix for it right there. To slide this in, it took quite a bit of force. I had to use both my hands. Pretty much just grabbed it with my fingers, one hand on this side, other hand on this side, and I put a bunch of pressure and pushed it in straight. So I'm pretty sure that grease, if you put grease on the shaft, it'll also help. So yeah, once you do that, you just slide your bolt back in, put your nut on, tighten it, and then put the gas pedal back on, and you'll be good to go. So everything's back installed. In the beginning of the video, I was yanking on this part here to show you the amount of noise it made. I was yanking on it with the same force, if not more, and I don't hear no clunking sound now. So that clunking sound is fixed. Now you can drive down the street and not be hitting bumps and clunking and getting frustrated. Hope you guys like this video. Like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks.